today I'm reviewing the Glossier Invisible Shield. And really quick, I just want to say, purchase all these products with my own money. I'll never waste your time with sponsored ads or videos. So if you want to help support the channel, check out nobsbeauty.com. Check out my Patreon community or click on the Amazon link below. Okay. So this is one I've been meaning to review for some time. I think I picked it up on Black Friday sale maybe. And I've experimented with it a lot. And I've certainly got a lot of thoughts on this one. Okay. So, they call this a lightweight SPF 35 water gel formula that feels like a serum and protects against sunburn. Why it's special. Transparent formula means no greasy residue and no white cast. Active microcapsules instantly absorb into the skin, so it plays well with makeup. And it helps prevent against sun damage and skin cancer and works to neutralize harmful free radicals. And I would agree with most of those. So let's get to my first criteria, which is packaging. Very effective packaging. Nothing too exciting about it, but protects it from exposure to light and air, which is nice. And nothing too exciting, but effective. So in terms of denatured alcohol, this one is free from any denatured alcohol, which is always a good thing for those, especially with dry or sensitive skin. So no issues with that. In terms of fragrance, first of all, this has a really strong chemical sunscreen scent, which I have a feeling maybe Avobenzone is the ingredient behind that. You can tell with certain, especially US-made sunscreens, when they have that strong scent, which also sometimes causes eyes to become sensitive in water. So it has that very strong scent, and it does take a while to dissipate. In addition to that, it also contains sweet orange oil, which, to be honest, if they're going to throw it in there, at least instead of the chemical scent, make it smell like citrus. Because it's already in there. So, I don't know. I don't like the smell of this one, and this is why this one is not one of my favorite sunscreens. And if I had to reach for this or 20 other options, I would probably never reach for this one just because of that scent. It's strong. But some people, doesn't bother them at all. So, I don't know. I must have a sensitive snout or something. So, in terms of the manufacturing location, I already mentioned it a second ago. It's made in the U.S., so no issues with that. In terms of SPF, this has an SPF 35 coverage. I recommend every single day 30 or above. The higher above that you get, the better protection you get. 35 is great, not exceptional, but it's good. Great. Good, great. No problem with that at all. So if you prefer something a little bit stronger, I get it. 35, though, is for a daily use is good. If you're going to be outside all day, a 35, I'd probably not pick a 35, go with something a little bit higher, but just for day-to-day, no problem with that. Okay, so first time so far in Sunscreen Week. UVA Protection Factor, not good. So, they state broad spectrum, broad spectrum, I can't even say that right. Okay, which for the U.S., means broad spectrum covers UVA and UVB, all the spectrums. Although Avobenzone is the main UVA ray filter that they've used, and more information is coming out, and Avobenzone is shown as notoriously unstable, degrades rather quickly, and that means that the user of the sunscreen using Avobenzone is not getting high enough protection from UVA skin-damaging rays. This will provide adequate coverage for UVB rays, but the UVA rays, which have become more and more knowledgeable about, are very damaging, causing wrinkles and things like that. UVB rays will give you sunburn. UVA rays will give you wrinkles. And they both probably do a little bit of both. So Avobenzone is not an adequate, in my opinion, filter, especially for the UVA rays. So I did not give them the point for UVA protection factor just because I don't believe it's adequate. If you use this one and you're going to be out and about, I would recommend reapplying it. Avobenzone is so unstable and it really degrades so fast that you're really not getting enough coverage. So then in terms of the filters used, I mentioned it, Avobenzone 3%, Homosalate 6%, and Octisalate 5%. And later on in the week, I've got an interesting one where these numbers, I think they use the same 3 filters, and I think they call the same amount of protection, but the Avobenzone's like 1%, the Homosalate's like 1%, and the Octisalate's like 2%. So that's very curious to me how that can provide the same level of coverage this one does with much lower numbers. Okay, in terms of white cast, let me apply it and do a pH test. I know the pH tests haven't been the most exciting thing, but you know what? Once in a while, something surprises me, so I guess it's worth doing it. Yeah, once in a while, there's always something interesting. So, there is no white cast. It is clear, which is nice for those with darker skin tones or those that don't wear foundation over it. So, no white cast at all. It is totally invisible. The pH of this one looks to be about 5, FYI. So, no white cast, goes on clear. Texture, very nice light gel texture, which absorbs pretty quickly. No issues with that. I like the texture of it. It's very nice. And if you have drier skin or oily skin, it's a really nice texture that absorbs pretty quickly. So, no issues with that. Then we get to ease of use. Very easy to apply. Absorbs nicely. Layers pretty well for the most part overall. Skincare products. Feels lightly moisturizing. Works well underneath most foundations as well. It does set to kind of a slightly radiant finish, not totally matte. So if you wear foundation over this, something that's not super hydrating is probably going to be a bit more effective in your routine. So, okay, then we get to antioxidants and beneficial ingredients in this one. So, most of the beneficial ingredients, unfortunately, come in the ingredient list after phenoxyethanol. And the important thing to note about that is phenoxyethanol is a preservative. It's a good preservative, but it can only be used in cosmetics at a formulation of 1%. So whenever you see phenoxyethanol in an ingredient list, everything else in that comes after, anything that comes after that is less than 1% of the formula. And I believe, looking at the Glossier formula, they listed this in the order of amount. For sunscreens, you can either list them in alphabetical order, or you can still list them in amount. I like when brands list them in the amount instead of alphabetically, so because then you just have a better idea how much of each ingredient is in there. So okay, so we've got Hydroxyacetophenone, which is a synthetic antioxidant with a lot of good ability to soothe the skin. Then we've got hydrolyzed wheat protein, which is a wheat germ, which is full of amino acids and peptides, so that's always good to see in there. Then we've got licorice root extract, which is a good skin calming, brightening, and anti-inflammatory ingredient. Vitamin E, good antioxidant with a lot of good moisturizing properties. Sea buckthorn, which is another good antioxidant, also very rich in vitamin C. Then we've got bioflavonoids, which are great for anti-inflammatory purposes, also great for antioxidant purposes as well. And then a couple more, green tea extract and ascorbyl palmitate, which is vitamin C. So overall, it's a pretty decent formula. I maybe would have liked to see a bit more of some of the beneficial ingredients, but overall, they include a nice variety of them. So, okay, in terms of acneogenic ingredients, this one's great for acne-prone skin. Really not much of an issue. Butylene glycol and then ascorbyl palmitate. Ascorbyl palmitate is the very last ingredient. So pretty friendly for acne-prone skin, which is nice. So if you have skin that's prone to breakouts and you need something that won't cause any more of them, this one's a really nice one. And also sets to a kind of a radiant matte finish. So I don't know. It's very acne-prone skin friendly. Then we've got animal testing, and this is cruelty-free as well as vegan, so no issues with that. Performance. So works well under makeup, doesn't slide off your face or make your face look greasy, which is nice. It's very aesthetically pleasing. However, It is not, it will protect you against sunburn, but it's not going to protect you very much against UVA rays. So I didn't give it the performance rating because you might not burn, but you will wrinkle. Okay, in terms of price, this is the full size, which is 1 ounce, 30 milliliters, and it retails for $25. So far this is the most expensive one per milliliter. It is 83 cents per milliliter. So far the most expensive one I reviewed so far. Although, there'll be more expensive ones, I think. Although I've got a lot of K-Beauty ones. Those are kind of affordable, so. Anyway, overall, out of 15 being perfect, this one gets a 12. It's not perfect, to be honest. You really want to protect yourself against some UVA rays. But if you're an American brand and you're trying to make it and be able to market it as a sunscreen in the US, you're really at a disadvantage because you really don't have the ability to include everything that makes it, in my opinion, a great, well-rounded sunscreen. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess, in a way. Is it a double-edged sword? I don't know. So they're at a disadvantage, though. But overall, 12 out of 15 is still pretty good. And they're certainly at a disadvantage trying to market it as a sunscreen in the U.S. So, unfortunately, U.S. is so far behind. So, anyway, I'm interested if you guys have had a chance to try this out and if you have what your thoughts are. So, leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. And stay tuned for more tomorrow. Thank you so much.